Hey everyone, and welcome. Listen, as a dating coach, I spend a lot of my time helping people untangle the wonderfully messy, often totally confusing world of modern romance. And today, in this explainer, we're doing something pretty special. We are going to completely dismantle that toxic, outdated dating advice you've probably heard like a million times by now. Instead, we're going to learn how to build genuinely healthy, lasting connections. Right? Okay, let's dive right into this. The truth is, building a real connection is kind of like an art form. But the good news, it's absolutely one that anyone can master once you've got the right foundation. So, what if the secret to being completely unforgettable has absolutely nothing to do with pickup lines? I want you to just sit with that for a second. We've been sold this idea, right? This idea that to capture someone's attention, you need, I don't know, expensive gifts, rehearsed cheesy lines, or you have to put on some sort of fake ultra suave persona. But the source material we're digging into today absolutely shatters that myth. You literally cannot make someone think about you against their will. Real attraction, it's not about manipulation. It's not putting on a show. It's about becoming the kind of person who just naturally stays on someone's mind, all because of the positive impression you leave behind. Now, we have all seen the biggest mistakes people make here. The mind games. You know the ones. Intentionally ignoring text for hours, acting completely unavailable, or even artificially creating jealousy just to get a reaction. And honestly, these tactics are chaotic, they're exhausting, and they completely backfire. Sure, they might spark a tiny, fleeting bit of anxious curiosity, but they rarely, if ever, build real trust. Think about it. If someone's only thinking about you because you're making them anxious, that is an incredibly weak foundation. True, healthy connection is built on trust and consistency. People just want to feel safe, not constantly uncertain.
All right, moving on to section 1, presence and personal gravity. Let's talk about drawing people in.
Let's ditch the games for a minute and focus on developing what I like to call a personal gravity. Picture this, okay? You're out on a date and the person sitting across the table from you is just constantly checking their phone, glancing at the door, totally distracted and disengaged. It feels awful, right? It makes you feel completely unimportant. Now flip that. Contrast that with someone who is fully present. They're looking right at you, listening to every word, totally locked into the conversation. Let me tell you, in a world literally full of digital distractions, giving someone your rare, undivided attention is basically a superpower. It instantly changes the entire energy of an interaction.
So that brings us to habit number 1, the power of presence. Simply put, when you're together, actually be together. Put the phone away, like out of sight away. Listen without just waiting for your turn to speak, which, by the way, means no interrupting. And then, when they finish a thought, ask a thoughtful follow-up question. When you execute these specific yet really simple actions, you make that other person feel like they are the absolute most important person in the room for those few moments. And wow, is that an incredibly attractive quality?
Which actually leads us perfectly right into this core philosophy. People don't always remember every word you said, but they almost always remember how you made them feel. I'll say that again. They remember how you made them feel. Really let that sink in. This is the absolute core behind why genuine presence works so incredibly well. You honestly don't need to be the most eloquent speaker in the world or have these perfectly witty comebacks lined up. If you make someone feel valued, respected, and truly heard, they are absolutely going to remember you fondly.
And that naturally builds right into habit number 2, have an interesting life. Guys, this is so vital. One of the absolute most magnetic qualities you can possibly possess is having a life that does not revolve around trying to get someone else's attention. Go pursue your own goals, develop new skills, travel when you can, spend time with your friends and your family. Because when your life is already full of purpose and activity, your natural confidence just blossoms. Your happiness isn't dependent on another person validating you. Plus, and this is a real game changer, it makes your conversations so much richer because you actually have real interesting experiences to bring to the table.
Okay, moving on to section 2, quality over constant contact.
So there is a massive difference in communication styles when you're dating. On one hand, you have this constant 24/7 contact. It's that exhausting habit where you feel the need to text someone every single hour just to, stay on their radar. Honestly, it's overwhelming, and it literally suffocates attraction. But on the other hand, you have high-quality communication. This is where you actually give people the space to miss each other. Healthy attraction absolutely requires a little bit of breathing room. Quality communication will win over constant communication every single time. So, how exactly do we practice this? Well, it comes down to habits 3 and 4, which are all about masterful communication. First up, reply thoughtfully. Keep your word and absolutely follow through on your plans. Just be reliable. But the second point here, this is a fantastic secret.
leave conversations on a positive note. You do not always have to be the last person talking or drag a text thread out for 3 days straight. If you've had a great laugh or a really engaging discussion, end it while the energy is still high. Say something simple like, "Hey, I've got to run, but I really enjoy talking with you." It leaves them with this highly pleasant memory and, crucially, something to look forward to.
Which brings us to section 3, true emotional safety. This right here is the absolute foundation. So, what is emotional safety? Basically, it's creating an environment where someone feels truly heard, respected, and completely free to just be themselves without any fear of judgment. This ties into habit number 5, making her feel comfortable being herself. And notice something important here. It's not about trying to dominate a conversation to show off how smart you are, or constantly trying to impress her with your resume. The ultimate goal is pure acceptance. When someone subconsciously associates you with comfort and emotional safety, I guarantee you, they are immensely more likely to think positively about you long after you've left the room. Now, I think we've all seen the mysterious persona, right? Someone acting overly confident, trying so hard to appear perfectly mysterious, refusing to ever show a single flaw. Look, it is an exhausting performance to keep up. And frankly, it usually backfires because people have a sixth sense for when you aren't being real. Stacked up against that, we have genuine authenticity. There is this undeniable magnetic pull to genuine vulnerability. Letting that mask drop, that is what actually allows another human being to truly, deeply connect with you.
So habit number 6 is quite simply be authentic. And what that means is sharing your opinions honestly, rather than just parroting back what you think they want to hear. It means actually having the confidence to laugh at yourself. It means being secure enough to just say, "Hey, I actually don't know the answer to that." Performing a carefully crafted, flawless image, actually scratch that. It's more like a rigid script, and it always backfires eventually. But the right person, the person you actually want to build a lasting connection with, they're going to deeply appreciate and remember the real you.
All right, final section here, section 4, the lasting mark. Let's talk about positive impressions. And this is habit number 7, leaving positive impressions. I once had a client who completely won over his partner, and it wasn't with some grand, cinematic, romantic gesture. It was just by remembering exactly how she took her coffee on a really stressful Tuesday morning. It sounds so small, doesn't it? But showing genuine kindness, treating people with respect, offering a word of encouragement when they're stressed out, that creates a memorable impression that outlasts any pickup line ever written. The people we find ourselves thinking about the most are the ones who just leave us with these simple, positive emotions, simply because they're undeniably genuine. And this right here brings us to the ultimate coaching breakthrough. If you take away anything, take this. Step 1. You have to stop asking, how can I make her think about me? That whole question is rooted in trying to control a situation. Step 2. Start asking, how can I make this specific interaction right now meaningful? Let me tell you, this mental shift completely changes the dynamic. You move totally away from manipulative tactics and dating anxiety, and you step fully into creating genuine, high-quality connections in the present moment. That one shift changes absolutely everything about how you carry yourself. So let's reiterate our core thesis here very clearly. You cannot control another person's thoughts. And honestly, you really shouldn't try to. But what you absolutely can do is build a genuine connection. The entire goal of all these habits we've discussed isn't to somehow occupy their mind every single minute of the day. No, the goal is to build the kind of connection that naturally makes them look forward to seeing you again. End of story. Lasting attraction is created through genuine, everyday moments that simply make two people want to get to know each other better. And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. But before we go, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought to chew on. What quality makes someone unforgettable to you? Think about the people in your own life who have left a lasting, positive mark. Was it their kindness, maybe their presence, or their totally authentic sense of humor? Take a second to reflect on your own experiences with attraction. And honestly, I invite you to start bringing those exact same qualities into your own dating life, starting today. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this material, and I can't wait to dive into our next topic together soon. Take care.